morning, everyone. Welcome to a very warm day in Washington Heights at Plaza Las Americas. We're so excited to be here. I wanted to roll out today my small business plan, particularly for communities of color who are the backbone of our economy. When I think about Washington Heights, I think about Harlem, I think about East Harlem, I think about Inwood, I think about our small businesses, I think about our small owners who help make our economy work. But not just our economy, our civic society. When our churches, who puts tithes in the offerings? Our small businesses. Who helps make sure that other small businesses thrive? It's our small businesses. And for me, there's nothing more important as the next comptroller of the City of New York to make sure that the City of New York is working to help our small businesses so that our small businesses can help keep our communities safe and secure. And so it is with honor I want to announce some of our small businesses who are here joining us today. And then I want to bring up our special guest, Congressman Adriano Espaillat. Let me announce a few people. We have Jamie Vargas from Vargas Brokerage, Altagracia Valiente from 3841 Hardware, Jeffrey Garcia from the New York State Latino Bar and Lounge, Elida Almonte, Dominican Beauty Salon, Melba Wilson from Melba's, Princess Jenkins Green from the Brownstone, Yvette Haywood, African American Literary Award Show, Sharon Joseph from Urban Kitchen, and Carlos Encarnacion, who is an activist. Am I missing anyone?
Yes.
And Aaliyah Horsford from the Cove. Thank you so much. I have the honor as a New York State Senator of working with Congressman Adriano Espaillat on a regular basis. Since joining the Congress, he has been steadfast in making sure that his entire district gets the resources that it needs, and he has been a champion in making sure that PPP loans come to our community, and that when COVID-19 hit, our community got the support that it needed. He is so fortunate, and we are so fortunate, that he has been recently added to the Appropriations Committee in the House. And for anyone who knows appropriations, that is allocation, and everyone knows allocation, that means resources, money. And that's what we need as we come out of COVID. We need resources and money, and I can't think of a better fighter for us in Washington, D.C. than Congressman Adriano Espaillat.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, and I want to congratulate and thank the business owners also for being here. Small businesses are the lifeline of a community. They define a community. They give a community a personality, a spunk. The pulse of a community is defined very often by small businesses. And as we launch an effort to reopen the city, it is precisely the small businesses that must be helped, because they are the biggest employers. It's not the big box stores, it's not the big corporation, it's the small businesses that are the big employers and provide jobs in our communities. And so we must bring the help right now, because back in February, March, and April, most of them were shut down. Everybody was afraid in their homes. But now as we vaccinate and we begin to try to open back up, these small businesses have great challenges, and they owe rent, right? They have to reinvent, in many cases, their space, because now the world has changed and they have to deal with social distancing. Not for now, for the future as well. They have merchandise to purchase, they got employees to pay, they got bills to pay, and so they need the help right now. This is the cross in the road that will make it or break it for small businesses. So the PPP program is an important one, and the shut-up program is an important one for places like United Palace that has been shut down, the Apollo, and some of our entertainment venues. But we must be creative in ways that we could help them. And a controller who holds the purse, right, the pensions of the city of New York, has a lot to say about the local economy and small businesses. And I think we need a controller that is an activist with small businesses. Not just an investor, but with someone that is an activist with small businesses on a daily basis and looks for ways and creative ways to make sure that the small business community in the city comes back. If the small business community doesn't come back, New York City doesn't come back.
That's right.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
And so,
That's right.
and so we must work with you. So I am here excited to endorse my good friend Senator Brian Benjamin to be the next controller of the city of New York. And it is the black and brown businesses that are here that have suffered the most. And therefore they must get first help. The restaurant owners, Jeffrey and Melba, you know, I know what you've been through. It's not enough to give you 3.5 times the payroll. We got to get you more.
The Restaurant Act.
That helps. The Restaurant Act is a robust investment in businesses that shape the personality of the community. Not like throwing right there in the corner. You know, people come to hear a concert here. They come from Queens, Brooklyn, or from the tri-state area, and then they go eat at Malaco. So that restaurant introduces people from the tri-state area to Washington Heights. And so the same thing happens in Harlem, in East Harlem, in the Northwest Bronx. Estamos aquí para endorsar a nuestro gran amigo, el senador Brian Benjamin, para controlador de la Ciudad de Nueva York. Precisamente ahora estamos aquí rodeados de Jaime Vargas, has a brokerage, insurance brokerage company right on St. Nicholas Avenue. He's been there for 40 years. 40 years. I know he doesn't look that old.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
That's why he's wearing a hat and sunglasses. I had to get him because he's my friend. But he's been there for 40 years.
Wow, yes, 40 years.
40 years on St. Nicholas Avenue. Paying taxes. Providing insurance for livery drivers, right? And so he's there. He knows. He told me how many livery drivers he lost, right? During the pandemic. So he needs help. He got the PPP. He was able to get some of the hospital money, and he could apply again for the PPP. We got Altagracia Valiente, who runs a hardware store. Now, usually a hardware store, you think that's the, you know, the supers going there, and they're kind of a little bit rough on the edges, right? But she tells them what to do.
Go ahead, girl.
And she runs a hardware store. For how many years now,
Like 30?
30 years.
Wow.
Right on Broadway. On 116. Now she moved. She had to move because the landlord was giving her a hard time. She just went down the block and told the landlord where to go. Okay. And we have Eli Del Monte, who runs a beauty salon. Now you all heard of Dominican beauty salons, right?
Yes, we have.
Yeah. And so she runs one, and we have Jeffrey who represents the New York State Latino Restaurant and Lounge Association, right? Who's also going through some major challenges, right? And Melba is in her restaurant, Melba's, right? So these are the small businesses that make up our community, and together, working together, trabajando juntos, los negocios afroamericanos y latinos, somos una fuerza. We're a strength. We got muscle. We must use it, right? And with a controller.
What really happened with the real estate taxes to the small business? We kill all the small business in New York right now. Real estate taxes is about the $10,000 for the small business. We don't have the money to pay this year the real estate taxes. You understand? We got a 20. My business name is Victor Bicycle Repair. I got a 22 years.
Bicycle repair.
22 years in the neighborhood. 22 and 30 years in the park. I started in the park right here. And 173 with the banks. You understand? And right now I got my business. I owe to the landlord about $20,000. Now the real estate tax is coming right now in 2 or 3 months. You know, we don't have the money to pay the amount. Okay.
Thank you, Vic.
This day I'm gonna close my business.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
No.
So that's why you need a controller that understands this dynamic, and not someone just that will invest the pension fund in a smart way that will give some returns to the pensioners, but someone that understands what the local economy is saying to the rest of the city, and will be able to engage those small businesses in smart and innovative programs that will keep them open. If small businesses don't open up, the city will continue to be shut down. It's as simple as that. So I ask you, le pido a todos ustedes que apoyen al senador Brian Benjamin para controlador de la Ciudad de Nueva York. Él tiene una conexión directa con los pequeños negocios, él tiene el conocimiento, porque él también tuvo su pequeño negocio. Él es graduado de Harvard, right? You know Harvard, right? Any of you doesn't know Harvard? Okay. He graduated from Harvard.
Yes, yes,
But he also knows about affordable housing.
yes.
Right, but most importantly to me, he will be able to work with you. And you will be able to knock on his doors. Ustedes van a poder tocar en su puerta y pedirle la ayuda y él estará ahí para ustedes. So thank you. I'm here to support, and we're on the road not only to reopen New York, but to make Brian Benjamin our next controller of the city of New York.
So, I don't know how I respond after that, but what I'll do my best. First of all, I want to thank, and I don't want to go into this whole thing, but Nova Wilson here, she's not only the owner of Nova, she also is the head of the New York City Hospitality Alliance. And she has brought a number, yes, give her a round of applause. And she has brought a number of good friends from the neighborhood and the city to be part of this. And this is a black and brown coalition. And I'm excited about that because this is something I've been dreaming about for a very long time. Us as communities of color working together to help all communities of color. So let me just say a couple of things about this small business plan. You know, I used to, as the congressman mentioned, I used to run a small business. I was part of an affordable housing business that helped to provide environmentally sustainable affordable housing in the village of Harlem. And in the process of doing that, I learned a lot about dealing with the city of New York. And there's some things that need to change, and as comptroller, I will look to do that. So let me say a couple of things. Number one, right now in the city of New York, the comptroller, Congressman Espaillat, less than 5% of the pension assets of $240 billion are going to businesses of color. That must change immediately. Upon being elected comptroller, I would look to aggressively ramp that up. We have economically targeted investments that are available. That money should be going to communities of color, and it should be going to businesses and small businesses on the ground who need the equity to grow. How many businesses have shut down because they just didn't have the cash to weather the storm through COVID? How many? And then you have some businesses that aren't even that good, but because they have the money in the capital, they were able to weather the storm. We need to level the playing field, and a comptroller like myself will get that job done so that small businesses all over this city, particularly in the communities that have been ravaged the most by COVID and ravaged the most by systemic racism, get the resources that they need so that they can grow, because as you grow, so does our community. And that is what we are here to do. Secondly, when you get a contract with the city of New York, how long does it take for you to get the money? We absolutely must. First of all, it's a cost to get the contract, but then if you were lucky to get the contract because you won the lottery, you can't get paid. So we have to change that system. I am proposing a system whereby the city of New York, the mayor's office, and the comptroller, instead of having the mayor's office goes from the Office of Contract Services to OMB to the comptroller's office, what about a great idea if they start looking at the contracts at the same time? Let's parallel look at these things. The city of New York sitting down with the comptroller's office, and let's review them together. Let's save time. Let's put a timetable on it so we don't have small businesses and our nonprofits, who are also small businesses, by the way, waiting 6, 9, 12 months in order to get the money. Because guess what? you have to pay staff when? Can you pay them 6 months later? You can pay at the hardware store. Can you pay? So we have to make sure the city of New York is helping our small businesses. And it's a city, by the way, this is not, this is city money, right? It's your tax dollars that the city is managing on your behalf. You're not doing us a favor, we have to do you a favor. And we have to make sure our small businesses get the support they need. And lastly, I think we need to look very closely. I'm coming up with an idea called the Area Community Prosperity Tracker. It's ACP for short. You ever heard of ACP? Yeah, ACP for short. I know we're in Washington Heights, but ACP for short, so that we can see that. No, he knows his stuff. But no, and the thought is, let's track how our communities are doing, right? Because we need to make sure that each community gets the support it needs. There are some communities that are getting more PPP than they should. We should be getting more PPP and more resources into our communities, and a tracker that allows us to see how the area is doing, how the community is doing, and we can measure that across the city. That will go a long way. So, my plan will be on my website. So you can go to benjamin2021.com just to read the whole plan. But I wanted to do the highlights, and I wanted to do it here today on a very historic day, because I believe when we come together as communities of color, we are unstoppable.
Oh, yes.
We are unstoppable. And I am so moved by myself standing here with Congressman Espaillat, standing here with our small businesses from all over the district, all over the city, who represent the backbone of our economy. And if we don't help, if we don't do what we need to do to help, then shame on us. But we are standing here to say we will, we can, and we must. And the comptroller with $240 billion of pension fund money can do a whole lot, and I plan to do that on your behalf. Thank you very much.
Now we're being joined by your friend Placido Rodriguez, who runs what used to be Quisqueya Travel, the travel agency. Well, now he runs a multi-service agency. How many years you there in Harlem?
38.
Wow. 38,
Wow.
40, 30. Wow. This guy's a young blood. 27, we're going to 33. All right.
I want Melba to say a few words real quick. So I want you to talk about the Hospitality Alliance and some of the folks you brought here today on our behalf.
Sure. Well, I'm super duper excited to be here. Besides two superstars, but not only are they superstars, they make investments in our community. At a time where we have people making withdrawals from our community and not giving back, it's so important to be standing here next to the next comptroller, and of course, my favorite congressman. We're not going to tell the others, right? But I stand here. Beside me, we have some amazing entrepreneurs here. We have Sharon over there, Sharon Joseph from Harlem Urban Kitchens. We have Princess Jenkins over here from the Brownstone, who's been there, 22 years. We have Aaliyah Horsford, a landlord, but also owner of the Cove Lounge. Cove Lounge has been there how many years? 8 years. We have from Chef JJ from Field Trip. Chef JJ's been there. He's been there about 2 years now. 2 years. Yeah. We have Yvette Hayward over here from the African American Literary Awards, been 17 years. And we have my good friend Ben Fireman from and how many years? 15 years. 15 years.
And he's not cold too. He's not. I was right. That's impressive. You must have not right from the
but one of the things that I do want to speak about is the fact that we have to stand united. I think that is the key. The power is in us uniting. And at the end of the day, we have to realize that we are our brother's keepers. It is my pleasure and my honor to stand here beside you today.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now our congressman has to go, so thank you so much, Congressman.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for joining. It is much appreciated.
Well, you will be seeing more and hearing more from Brian Benjamin. We're going to bring him back to the community when he gets nice and warm. They have a big feast here every Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
They got music and dance here at the plaza every Sunday. So we're going to bring you and see if you could do the thing.
I know thing.
All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay.